Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 18, titled The Last Day of Our... What?
Acquaintance?
That's weird. Okay. Air day, February 22nd, 2010, and the synopsis is...
In getting back at Julian for sleeping with Alex, Brooke punches Alex and gets thrown off the set. Later, she discovers that it was Alexander that Alex slept with. Victoria's mystery lover ends up being Alexander. Meanwhile, Lydia becomes worse from her cancer. Elsewhere, Clay tells Katie he will be representing her, and Katie does whatever it takes to get Clay by learning about Sara and transforms herself to look like her. And then Lauren and Mouth nearly get together, only for Skills to come back to Tree Hill. So I think they chose the title just because this was Lydia's, at least last episode, the last time with her girls, the family.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So then we start off with Brooke going to the hotel, right? In the room.
Think so.
Because there's a lot of flashbacks, so it's kind of hard to even tell where it started. Yeah, so she sees Alex naked in the bed, sleeping, while the shower's on that you can hear. So she thinks it's Julian, of course.
Yeah, so she runs out.
Mm-hmm. And then we go to a movie, the movie set where Alex's co-star Josh is having problems with his costume.
Which I will say that, like, it does make sense of why she thinks it's Julian, because it was his room.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't you find it a little weird that she was able to get the key or the card for it? I mean,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also he's supposed to be like, a producer, movie producer. You would think that especially movie producers, they're not just giving their name out for, you know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
They're going to definitely keep a tighter, like, lip on their circle and all. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird that she was able to get it. I'm just saying.
Right. And then these problems must happen a lot with Josh because Julian and Paul seem to be annoyed. Like he complained about something just earlier that day. And then Paul points out to Julian that he's an hour late. And Julian explains he got no sleep. But then, Julian threatens Josh to get out of his trailer by saying he'll tell everyone who he went home with last Saturday who doesn't. So Josh ends up stepping out in his character's outfit, gym outfit, that looks to be very from the 80s.
Yes, I was like, is this movie supposed to be in the 80s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the super short shorts, yeah.
I know it's not, because obviously Julie doesn't like the outfit because it's just something Brooke, wanted to make a joke out of, clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Julian asks, Brooke, what's up with that? And she says it's for the jogging scene. And Julian says the problem of it is that the romantic lead looks like the love child of Richard Simmons and a village person. Brooke says that she made a huge, stupid, unforgivable mistake, and Julian skips over the fact that she was calling him out and says this isn't the costume they agreed on. But Brooke keeps going on and says she's also a dirty, no-good liar. And then says good morning to Paul. And then Julian walks away, making Paul go after him, still thinking about the outfit. And then, of course, Josh flirts with Alex by gloating everything, saying everything she sees is real and not special effects. And she's disgusted, of course.
Also, I'm sorry, but I know that Brooke is doing it out of revenge. I know we all think it's funny, but, like, it's not professional. Like, this is not how you act, in life, for a job. Like, if you're so annoyed and with Julian, quit. Like, or I don't know, have Alexander come and finish. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, this is unprofessional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think she's slowing it down, the production.
Yes, and wasting Paul's money. Like, forget about Julian for a second. This is other people's money, too.
Right.
Even though you hate the two of them.
Mm-hmm. And then, so I missed the last 2 episodes, so I'm trying to catch up here because I didn't take notes. So Lydia's been at the house now for a while.
Just a few episodes.
I know, but like, how long do you think in the show time wise? Like a week or so, maybe not even that. I don't know.
I would say probably a week. I would say it's nothing more than, yeah, either a couple days or just a week, one or the other.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, at the house, Lydia's trying to get a hold of Taylor, but only gets her voicemail again. And she's been making some chicken dumpling soup that Taylor really likes. And Lydia wants to, make it for her since she missed her birthday. And Haley says that she didn't miss it because she just didn't get her phone call or whatever because she's at the fundraiser.
Do you think that her mom should be the one to tell Jamie that she was dying?
That's pretty far ahead, but no, at least not without telling Haley and Nathan about it first, like talking to them about it.
Haley and Nathan?
What did I say?
I thought you said Peyton and Nathan.
No, Haley, yeah, and Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Haley keeps telling Lydia that she loves her, but Lydia tells her to stop it. She's not gonna kill over in the soup pot, which is a little bit foreshadowing. But then she just says in case she does, she loves her too. And then Katie's friend, played by Candace Patton, knows the way she's dressed up means that she met a boy. And Katie, talks about Clay and everything, the cute agent with the ringless finger. And even though he didn't sign her, either he'll do that now or marry her. But she's already obsessed with him after one meeting.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. And then Mouth and Lauren are walking together around town when Lauren asks if they should address the elephant in the room. And Mouth makes a joke, but he apologizes for asking her out. He had too much to drink that night and was kind of inspired by Haley's speech. And Lauren tells him that she was flattered, and Mouth thinks it's skills, the reason why they can't go out. But Lauren was thinking of Millicent because he was jealous of her hanging out with Owen. So she tells Mouth that she likes him, but she, wouldn't want to be his rebound.
And here's the thing. They both would be each other's rebound.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like these two together.
Right.
Like, I want Skills and Lauren. But if she's going to be like this, Skills deserves better. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. And then Nathan is looking at Lydia's screener. It's like it's a whole contract. And Nathan tells her he can go through it for her. And that's when Haley starts, telling him how she's been feeling about this and how she's supposed to go through this. Nathan tells her what she always does, just goes through it gracefully and courageously and with another side. And then elsewhere, Clay is looking at a picture of Quinn when Kate, what was her name? Katie, Kate?
Katie.
Okay, yeah, sits right in front of him. And she calls him Mr. Agent. And Clay is taken back, of course, and with how much she looks like Sara because she dyed her hair. And then
isn't that a little strange that he met her as a brunette and then she changes her hair color? I mean, like, right. Just after a couple days, like,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, Clay definitely should be curious about it. Like, why did you change it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially after he mentioned Sara because he accidentally called her that last time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Haley goes to her mom and brings up how she said they shouldn't be morbid, but when she walks around the kitchen island, she sees that her mom has collapsed on the floor unconscious with the soup spilled all over the floor. So Haley runs over and calls for Nathan, but he doesn't show, and she calls 911. And then Brooke is fitting Alex in a dress, and Alex says it's amazing how the difference between a good day and a bad day can come down to a good lawn, but then Brooke, pricks her with the needle before she can mention having sex with Julian.
Even though it wasn't.
Yep. And Alex says she was just talking about sleep and that Brooke should try it. And Brooke knows it wasn't sleep that made Alex feel better. She has her own assumption. But Alex is starting to finally get what she's thinking about, and she tells Brooke she told him not to tell her. It just sort of happened. Yeah, doesn't it seem like Alex kind of knew what Brooke was thinking, so she was just kind of messing with her?
Yes, that's why it's annoying. Like this
Yeah.
whole storyline of
Mhm.
Julian and Alex, like, and then I feel like every time they're together or they talk to Brooke, it's always to get under Brooke's skin.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Julian talks to her, it's like, she hates her. Just, stop it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she wouldn't care if it was Alexander. She knew that. But still, Brooke pricks her again with the needle, and Brooke just, says this just sort of happened, like she said it to her. And then Katie tells Clay that she knows her stats could be better, but she's training really hard. And she looked good on a box of cereal for marketing, and Clay tells her that he has no doubt that she has a bright future, but he can't represent her still. So she asks why why didn't she come there to meet him? And he says because he thought he could represent her, but he sees that he can't now, and he can't explain it. Which, that was kind of on his part, because of course she'd be curious either way. And she says if he can't sign her, at least he can do is take her out on a consolation date.
Do you know what I find weird is that he didn't even do his research on her, really. He met her when she was in practice or something. Like normally you do research on the person that you want as your client, like what they look like and all of this, and the fact that what he didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like otherwise you would know she looks just like your wife.
Right.
I don't know. It's just weird that you didn't do research. Like, I'm sorry, anyone else would have done research on the person.
What was the last thing you said? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I was just saying that a normal person would have just done research on the person that they want to hire.
Right. Yeah. Because even if someone recommended her to him, or gave him her information to look her up, or not look her up, look into her to hire her or represent her, they didn't do any of that.
Yeah, and you would have seen like a picture of her,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would have said, "No."
Like a headshot, maybe like we do for film and stuff. But yeah. So she's talking about she saw the way he was looking at her last night. Like he was practically imagining what the children would, children would look like. And then she even takes his hand, and then he gets a call from Quinn, and Katie gives Clay her number, telling him to call her when he's put the fire out, meaning Quinn. And he tells her that's not going to happen. Oh, and then he accidentally calls her Sara here. So she points it out. So wait, did he call her Sara again, or?
No, this was the first time because she said,
Okay.
"Who's Sara?" So this is where she gets the idea to look her up.
Okay, yeah, because like I said, I didn't take notes the last couple episodes. So I'm getting what was what mixed up. Yeah, so he just says he has to go. And at the store, Brooke walks in, dropping a huge pile of clothes, and she doesn't ask. She tells Victoria that being on the movie set yesterday went fine until the ex-love of her life and the current bane of her existence made it very clear to her that they did the wild thing last night. And then Brooke yells at Victoria, saying that this is the part where the motherly sympathy is supposed to kick in. And Victoria says she's been wasting all her self-pity on her. But if misery loves company, she got stood up last night. And Brooke can't believe Paul did that to her. And then she said it's clear to her that the Julian apple did not fall from the sleazy Paul tree. And then Quinn and Haley go visit their mom in the hospital. And Lydia asks if she's willing to sue, but Haley says it depends if you think her kitchen floor is clean enough to eat off of. And Lydia, says she's really looking forward to the suit. And Quinn tells her she's going to be around long enough to make more. But the doctor said that Lydia doesn't have much time left.
Yeah, and she had a wonderful visit with each of her children. That's what she wanted,
Mm-hmm.
which was
Yeah,
nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so apparently she was supposed to get a few more months, but things changed, sadly.
Yeah.
But she said that she promised to stick around till they met up with Taylor, she's been hard to get a hold of. And Haley says, joking, that's great, then she'll live forever. And then that's when Lydia says that when they were little girls, they're inseparable, and shows them a picture of them. And Quinn says Taylor almost seemed human back then. And then Lydia says two out of her three girls being there with her at the end, that's not too bad. But then later, Quinn still goes to see Taylor to warn her that this is her last chance to see and say goodbye to their mom.
I was surprised Quinn did. Like, she went to go see Taylor.
Yeah, I think it was just like the big sister, sense to do that. And then, so she tells her what happened to their mom this morning with collapsing on the floor. And that she doesn't have much time left, but Taylor's still refusing. And Quinn starts yelling at her, saying she doesn't know when she became, such a selfish bitch. And she knows, that she's her sister and she loves her and that their mom, wants to see her. So it's the right thing to do. And Taylor points out that she really does the right thing, which is true. And Quinn accepts that she tried and did all she could to get Taylor to see their mom, but it just, didn't work. And that's when Taylor calls Quinn the perfect daughter, and Quinn just sets a picture of the three girls as kids on the table in front of her to show her that's the real her, the sister she used to be. Haley wakes up and Haley tells her she must have had a nice dream because she was smiling. Sylvia says that she was dreaming about her, her dad, her husband, even smelling his cologne. So Haley asks what kind he used, and then she tells the story of when she met him. And this is all news to Haley. And she tells her what their song was and all that. The one by Bob Dylan.
Apparently it's a breakup song.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when they kissed or something. So.
Yeah. Or at least telling Haley that's what they did. And then Haley asks if she won his heart with her chicken dumpling soup. And she says she won his heart with a note she wrote him. Or won his stomach with the soup. And Haley says she doesn't have the recipe, so Lydia writes it down for her. And Haley barely listens because she's taking a moment sitting with her mom and seems to have it kind of dawn on her now that time is surely running out. And Jamie is petting Chester, who I think we haven't seen in a while again.
Yep, all of a sudden he's back for a few episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they lived quite a long time, but it just seems like it's been really long that he's been in and out of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But Nathan walks in and he tells Jamie what happened to his grandma this morning. And Jamie asks, because he's so smart, if this means she's going to die soon. And Nathan tells him she is, sadly. And so apparently he remembers, Jamie, how if it wasn't for his grandma, he wouldn't have Chester, because she told him to wish on a star for a rabbit, which was cute. And Jamie's even smart enough and brave enough to ask to have a few minutes to himself before they go. And then on set, Alex is on the phone talking about what it sounds like, having sex with Julian when Brooke walks by, of course, trying to make her jealous still. And Alex laughs, acting like she's rubbing it in Brooke's face. Then makes a comment about the last girl he was with qualifies for a senior discount.
Mm-hmm.
So how much older is Brooke to Alex? Doesn't seem like that much.
No, the older woman was Victoria.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Victoria and Alexander were together.
Right, it just seems like that she was trying to make fun of Brooke.
Well,
about Julian.
Yeah, but I guess Alex is just dumb. Like, she doesn't know Brooke thinks it's Julian this whole time. I guess she's just that dumb. Because because how do you not pick up on that? But she's really just on Alexander.
Mm. And then that's when Brooke asks Julian if he's called last looks for her makeup yet.
Yeah, and then he says not yet, so she punches her.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Get off my set."
Yeah. So do you think she acts that to know they haven't gotten the pictures yet for the makeup and outfit, so she can ruin those photos or something by punching her?
Probably, because otherwise she'd be done and he wouldn't care.
Yeah. So then Alice comes to and has a messed up eye, of course, and Julian yells to Brooke to get off his set.
Yeah, he said that, and I like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like it because she deserves at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was practically sabotaging the whole production with her, her quote-unquote mistake.
Jealousness, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and now this is really gonna hold production. And Brooke tells him he's shown that he doesn't care, anymore, so she walks off. And Haley's at home making her mom's soup, and he asks if she's okay, and then Nathan walks in and she says she is, but then asks where Jamie is. So Nathan says he'll be downstairs soon, and he knows his grandma's gonna die soon. And Haley says she thought they weren't gonna tell him, and Nathan says he guessed it.
Well, he guessed it because his grandma told him that she wasn't gonna be around for like Christmas and that she was dying. So obviously when she went to the hospital, it's of course in your head of she is dying. Like she already said she was. So when he said he figured it out. No, he put two and two together. Like what?
Yeah, so I don't, and at this point, even if he didn't know, I don't know why Haley would think not to tell him, Like,
well,
he can't say goodbye if he doesn't know.
Well, and when somebody, especially when you're a kid and there's an ambulance called, your mind, especially as a kid, goes to, oh my God, they're not okay.
Yeah, I did that with my dad.
So that's why I'm like, why would he assume everything is good? She's not out of the hospital, right? Which means it's probably not good. So I was like, what?
Yeah. So Haley's frustrated that he guessed right and is angrily cutting the onions. And she's, saying Jimmy is so familiar with death, like this isn't fair. And that's when she accidentally cuts herself. And then that's when her emotions bubble up, making her break down, yelling her mom's dying, and the only thing she can do is make soup. And she cries in Nathan's arms, and then she says there's so many moments that goes with her when she dies, and she doesn't know the right questions to ask, and she's not ready for it.
Yeah, he says nobody ever is.
And then Brooke walks into the store. Alexander asks if she's all right, and Brooke says in the movies, you never see how much punching hurts the puncher. She holds a bag of frozen food in her hand. So Brooke tells him that she punched Alex because she went to Julian's hotel room last night. She saw Alex naked in his bed, and she could hear him in the shower. That's when Alexander says, "Oh dear," because he doesn't know whose room she was in.
Yeah, because he's put it all together.
Yeah, but she was with him last night, and she was very naked, and now Brooke's realizing too that she thought the situation wrong. So Alexander asks how bad could it be after punching Alex, and back on set, Paul is angry. They have to pause shooting until Alex's eye heals, and it's going to cost them $50,000 a day of missing filming.
Especially when you have no money to begin with.
Yeah. And Julian tells Alex, not to worry, it's not her fault. They'll adjust, and Paul has to stay roll with the punches. So Julian tells Alex her only job is to keep ice on her eye. And then he tells Josh that Alex looks like they're going to have to, get a couple of days off. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Josh tells Alex that it looks like they're going to have some days off. So if she knows what's good with the black eye, and she tells him if he says raw meat, she will tear out his tonsils. And her words, tie off his wiener bag and castrate him like a bull. And he says, you mess with a bull, she knows what she gets. And Alex tells him that she doesn't even, it doesn't even make sense. And then Katie is looking up Play Online now, and then looks up Sara, probably from something similar to like Facebook or something. And she sees a picture of Play and Sara together, and now understands why he called her Sara and said he couldn't sign her. And then Haley brings up the soup to her mom at the hospital and feeds it to her.
Yeah, and she's all worried it's not good, and she said it's perfect.
Yeah. And Haley says, she just loves making it with her, and that's what she loves about it most. She's leaving her. So Lydia tells Haley that she may have some unconventional beliefs about the afterlife, but she has no intention of leaving her. So she should, be prepared to be haunted. And then Jamie and Nathan get there. And Jamie brought the book that Haley reads to him when he's sick, so he can read it to his grandma, which is really sweet. And so he does read it to her, and Brooke's laying on the floor in the store at the ceiling, staring at it, and Victoria walks in.
Victoria was funny, like, what are you doing?
And
I did think what she said was far too.
Yeah.
She went too far.
Mm-hmm. Especially after Alex, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, we just went through something bad, and then now you're gonna say it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even that bad. Just avoid set.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it seemed like she was kind of fired anyways.
Yeah, so stay in your store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Victoria lays down next to Brooke, asking if she wants to talk about it, actually being a mother this time to her. And Brooke says, there's nothing to discuss. She's just, mixed up in that Shakespearean play. And
Yeah, and she said that
tells her the
Alex,
truth, what happened. Mm-hmm.
it was Alex. And then, of course, Victoria's like, oh my God, because she was the one that was with Alexander, and now he's with Alex.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so Brooke is just upset with herself that she ruined her job for nothing.
Yeah, but she did tell her that she overlooked the best part, and that's Julian didn't sleep with Alex.
Mm-hmm. And Brooke understands that she should talk to Julian now, and her and Victoria actually hold hands, which is something new, at least that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And Brooke thanks her mom for this time that she's actually been a mom to her. And then Quinn and Clay go to visit Lydia now. And Clay says that him and Quinn have been working on something special for her, so he sets up the projector on the table and then leaves to go get something else. And then Lydia tells Quinn that she loved David, but she has the same feeling about Clay like she did with Nathan, being one of the good ones. And Quinn says that she does love him, and Lydia asks if she's told him yet, and Quinn says no. And Lydia tells her that, sometimes men need to be hit over the head sometime with things. And jokes about even it being frying pans, but mostly love. So basically just to tell him how she feels, how she has the chance. And Quinn promises she will. And Lydia holds Clay in her arms when Taylor walks in finally. Then we go back to Brooke, who goes to see Julian. But Alex opens the door, and Brooke sees that her eye's really bad now. And Alex makes a joke about Brooke being as strong as Bam Bam from the Flintstones. And she knows she was looking for Julian and invites her into the room. So that's when she tells Brooke that they switched rooms last night because the guys in the room next to her were keeping her up. And Brooke realizes that's why Julian was tired today and was late for shooting. And Alex asks Brooke why did she punch her, because she knew they weren't going to break each other's hair, but she thought they were okay at least. And Brooke says they are, and then explains she showed up there last night and she was sleeping and Alex was in the shower. And Alex realizes Brooke thought it was Julian, so now she knows what's been going on. And Alex says she wishes it was him, but it's never going to happen because whether her and Julian continue to push each other away or not, he knows what it's really like to be in love. She never had a chance. They both say that they're sorry to each other, and then
finally, it's kind of like finally it's over, like between them fighting over him.
Mm-hmm. And then at the hospital, Lydia tells Taylor she's glad that she's there. And it's all right to be upset about this if she is. And Taylor's been looking out the window, not being able to look at her mom until she gathers the strength to do so. And she tells her mom she's sorry for being such a disappointment. All of her siblings are talented or smart or both, and she's just Taylor. Nobody likes Taylor. So Lydia says that she likes her, and Taylor says she has to say that she's her mother. Lydia shared a secret to Taylor that out of all her kids, she's the one who reminds herself, of herself.
Yeah, and she said that's not true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Lydia says she's only known her as a mom and not, who she was before that. Even calling herself Taylorish, Lydia before that. And that's why she has no doubt that she'll find her way because she did. And she's going to end up happy. And Taylor says she's been awful. How can she still love her? And Lydia tells her her love for her has never been in question. The only question is how long is it going to be until she loves, herself. And wherever she goes, she'll never let go of her. And then Taylor has the heartbreaking moment of telling her mom not to leave, so they just hold each other. And then back at the store, Alexander shows up to talk to Victoria, but she tells him not to bother saying anything to her. And she knows why he set her up. He was with, Alex, or she calls her that snotty little actress. And Alexander says it was just sex. What they have is different. And Victoria tells them they're finished. She says goodnight and closes the door. And then the three girls are laying in the bed with Lydia, and she wakes up with Jamie telling her there's a surprise for her. And that's when the lamp is turned on that reflects the light on the wall with blue stars, which is pretty. So he tells his grandma to make a wish. And then Taylor wakes up and she tells her sister she's sorry. She knows she's been a lousy sister and she doesn't deserve it, but if they could give her another chance, she'll be back from now on.
I will say it was good that Taylor apologized in front of their mom because, you know, like at least she got to hear that and not like, oh, we made up with her. Like, you know, they could have lied. But instead she got to hear it. So I think she was definitely at peace to go because she fixed everything.
Yeah, so Lydia winks at Jamie and Mouse, thank you for helping her wish come true. So that was cute. And then Brooke goes to see Julian now, and she tells him that she knows she's banned from set, but she needs to clear something up. And she explains that you know what she thought she saw. And Julian points out that that means that she doesn't still doesn't trust him. And Brooke says no, she just got jealous because she's in love with him, and always will be, and that's gonna make her do stupid things sometimes. And first she thought he was falling for Alex, and then last night she went to his hotel room and thought he fell for Alex, but then he kisses Brooke and he tells her she thinks too much. And then they have that sweet moment where he kisses her again and turns off the lights. And then Haley makes sure her mom is comfortable as the daughters surround her, and along with Nathan, Clay, and Jamie. And they all watch a slideshow of pictures on the projector that Clay brought. And Lydia loves seeing her girls as little kids, calling them her beautiful babies.
Okay, can we talk about this?
What?
The slideshow.
Yeah.
What is my biggest pet peeve?
The not them being inconsistent with things.
Things that don't make sense. Yeah. Here it is. The slideshow I will never forget. It was a great, when they're kids, cute. But then you go to Haley's graduation.
Oh yeah, because they weren't there.
First of all, she was pregnant. Second of all, she didn't look like that. Third of we all remember what she looked like in season 4. This is not what she looked like.
Well, I thought maybe this was her college graduation, maybe.
She had black hair. Remember?
I mean, we saw them after college. I don't know.
I know, but they had just, remember, they had the flashback of them moving, which means they had graduated. She had short hair then. Don't be telling me that. And it was also black hair. Don't even be telling me that she looked like that, because she did not look like that. I am sorry. Stop trying to erase this. Also, they were not there. I don't know, it just annoys me. And also, we all know she was pregnant, but just a little pouch pregnant because, it was just a, whatchamacallit, a fake bump. Also, Jamie was born that day. It just bothers me. Also, where's Daddy? If her dad was still there's just no mention. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I think that it was her college graduation and he had already passed by that point.
It's just still hard to believe this picture. And I don't know, you can definitely tell things are Photoshop just because, damn well that these people were not all together. I don't know. It was just bothering me because I'm like, okay. Okay. You expect me to believe that just recently the girls were all happy together? When Taylor came to town, remember? They all hated her. I'm like, don't be telling me that they love Taylor. I can't remember because it was like the three girls and their mom, and I'm like, no, nope, because they don't like her.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, whatever. I know, just and also we never saw Mommy Dearest, so I'm not like like it just I don't know. It's hard when it's a character that you never see.
Mm-hmm.
Like like everybody was sad, right, over Keith. Because
Mm-hmm.
you saw him in like every episode.
Right.
And when he wasn't on in the episode, you missed him.
Mm-hmm.
If it was Karen, we would be so sad. But Haley's mom is not really around. And when she says like she can't go through this, I'm like, your mom had abandoned you when you were in high school. She's not picture perfect like the writers are writing to. They're writing to as if she was around for every moment of her children's life.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't even around the day Haley graduated or had her kid, the only grandkid. Also, where are these other siblings?
Mm-hmm.
Where the heck's Vivian? Like, things that don't add up. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, it just shows you like another thing of what doesn't make sense. And that's why I really, this whole storyline, okay. Like, at least you should have brought her back a few times through the years
Mm-hmm.
to make it seem like Haley was close to her family, because it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it seems like they try to fill in the time with saying that Haley used to call her for every little thing. So supposedly they just had like a very tight, close phone relationship.
But
At
she
least.
didn't, though, because who was it that she went to get advice when she was trying to get Nathan back?
I don't know.
Brooke,
Mm-hmm.
Lucas. I don't know, when she was separated about the whole nanny Carrie thing again. Who did she turn to? Lucas. I'm not seeing a pattern of Mommy Dearest.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is because for all 7 seasons, we haven't really seen Mommy Dearest except for when she was getting married and it was like, off we go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, your daughter was separated. Didn't come back, didn't care. When she had that
Mm-hmm.
wedding, remember? She said, oh, my parents said that the first time was boring.
Right.
How do you not go to your...
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? This is not a good mother. Okay, if you're traveling, that means that you are retired or you're doing side jobs. But like, you should have been there for your daughter's wedding, quote. And
Mm-hmm.
especially after she almost got divorced. So I'm sorry, but like, to have Mommy Dearest come back and act like everything's great. She has her mom is the best mom. I don't know. You know who was there for her through it all? Deb. You know who was there for Jamie? Deb.
Mm-hmm.
Not her mom. So it just annoys me because it's like we're acting like her mom is so great. No, she's not. She is not great. I mean, think about it. When Haley came back, she was homeless. Did her
Mm-hmm.
parents give a crap? No. When she had money troubles, did her parents reach out? No. Did her mommy come and help her when she was in the bed because of her accident that nearly killed her? No. I'm sorry, but if you're retired and you have all the time in the world, you can postpone traveling, which is what they claimed they were doing. And you should have been there with your daughter, who literally almost died. Again, bad parents. Again, who was there? Karen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, honestly, I really could care less about this whole storyline. I'm like, is this a storyline just to get her off the show for good? Like, she was never really on the show. I'm like, that's the part that bothers me. This was not a mother that was right down the road where you could go to for every little thing. Haley, no. Also Haley was the one that was always level-headed and always knew right from wrong, always knew the answers. So you're going to tell me that her mom, like, no, I don't know. That's what annoys me, is when they don't show you and tell you for 7 years, and then all of a sudden we're just supposed to believe it. All because we're supposed to wrap it up and act like Haley's family is the best family on this show. No. So, you know who's been there for their daughter more? Victoria. Like, that's just what drives me nuts. And that's why I don't like the storyline. And there are fans who get sad over this. And I'm like, she's just a character. I'm like, okay.
Well, considering with all that I've been through the last few months of this year, and even beforehand, I always thought this was a beautifully written story arc because it really shows Haley's grief really well and how bad it can get sometimes because she went through every single stage, full out. And yeah, it's even if you're not close to the parent, it's still hard either way to lose them because that just seems to be your worst nightmare anyway, anyhow. And yeah, like I said, they seem to try to stack it up to like they had a phone conversation, maybe talked every day or every other day, who knows. But at least it was nice to acknowledge and somehow bring the sisters together again, even though I don't think we see Taylor again after this point. I'm not sure, I can't remember.
That's the other thing. Why is it we saw her, like, she was in season 7 for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Never see her again. It's like, right. Come on now. Like, if you're going to give her us, like, we want to see her.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're making them all close now.
Right. Yeah, and the story arc just really helped me prepare for my mother and her death as well. Haley basically taught me everything I shouldn't do, and
everything you shouldn't do.
Well, Haley seemed to go backwards a little bit because she got stuck in the denial stage for a while, even though it seemed like she was accepting it here for a minute. So something just backpedaled and she kind of got stuck there for a while. But yeah.
Yeah, because she wanted Nathan's doctor to tell her that she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And she even said, like, you'll accept this, right? And Haley's like, yeah. I'm like, no, you won't.
Right.
But I will say, I think the reason why she did that was because her mother is never seen. So when her mother finally comes to town for the first time in years, she's like, what? Like, you're sick? I think that's why, because she wasn't like right across the street where she could go visit her every day, where then you would know something's wrong. But like, if you only have like a phone call here and there, then like, yeah, your mom can play it off as everything's good. Where if you saw her, you would see her dark days and you would be able to prepare yourself. But I think because Lydia came to town, like, oh, hi, girls. And it's like, and then told them, and it's like, you didn't want to tell us any sooner. So I think that's why she was in denial, because when you don't see the person, you're not seeing how they truly are. Because people can act like they're fine, but then they're not in real life. So it's like, I think that's probably why she was in denial. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, because it does seem to happen pretty quick.
Because think if it was Karen, she would not have been able to hide that.
Mm-hmm.
They're all around.
Right.
Now she could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this story arc was better written than even Peyton's story arc with Ellie and her cancer, because it was just inconsistent and like they're kind of going back to it, going something else, going back to it. So, but this was consistent within like 3 episodes or so, and then Haley, I think for this season, goes through her own depression and grief. So I just think it was, since it was back to back, it was a great, story arc that was written here. Probably one of the best, in my opinion, of the whole show. So
I think Ellie was just inconsistent.
yeah,
Always lying.
yeah, because she didn't even tell Peyton that she was sick for the longest time. So at least Lydia told Haley, even if it was still kind of last minute, at least she, told her and didn't try to pretend it didn't exist or anything. So
Yeah.
and then elsewhere, now Alexander stands up Alex because he's trying to see Victoria at the store and explain, what happened, because he says he really likes her and he knows that he heard her by sleeping with Alex, and Victoria ends up slapping him but then kisses him. So I guess that means they made up. And then Alex checks the coverage on her eye before Josh opens the door to his hotel room. And then basically she just wants to have meaningless sex with him now. But then I guess she didn't see that he opened his laptop and started recording on it either.
But then she looks at the camera though.
Yeah, that's
So
what I thought too.
I was confused because yeah, it seemed like it at first, but then she looked
Mhm.
at the camera and then she looked disappointed.
Yeah, like she could obviously see herself. Like, what a computer looks like when it's recording. You can see yourself like a meal kind of.
So I was just confused about that whole thing too.
Yeah, next episode again. Actually, she doesn't know anything about it yet. That's weird. But now back at the hospital, we keep looking at more photos where the girls are older now. Lydia says she did all right by raising the girls. And then Haley tells her she did everything. And then the last words Lydia says is "Hello, handsome," meaning her husband. And the girls lay with her in the bed as she goes. And then later on, the girls.
Oh, did you notice that Clay had his hand on Quinn's leg the whole time? It was so cute.
No, I was looking at Lydia and the girls. No.
I just noticed it and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Because like Nathan had Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was so cute for Clay to comfort her while she was with her mom. Like it was so sweet to me.
Mm-hmm. And then later on, the girls spread their mom's ashes in the river, and everyone else is there as well. Family that we've never seen, but apparently that's the family. Yeah, so
no, the family's the girls. That's it. There ain't no other kids.
No, I meant like other relatives, not siblings or anything, children. But yeah, so I did like how they ended this storyline here with Lydia being surrounded by her daughters, and then their, one of her daughters' husband, another, her boyfriend, and then her grandson to her own grandkid, as far as we know. Because we just know it's these 3 girls here. But
yeah, I think he's the only grandkid.
Yeah, so I do envy Taylor and Haley and Quinn, because they got to have this very peaceful moment with their mom, with the sideshow and everything. Whereas I had the Lindsay experience with her dad and turn off the machine. So it was a very unpleasant experience nonetheless. My mom was still surrounded by her family as well. Her, me, my siblings, my nephews, so her grandsons, and then my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. So yeah, I really do envy Haley for having this very peaceful and quiet moment with her mom. And then Haley at the house is looking for the recipe for the soup that her mom wrote down, laying her fingers over her mom's handwriting, and she smells the apron her mom was using for cooking earlier. And then Lauren goes to see Mouth. She tells him she wasn't worried about being his rebound. She was worried about him being hers.
Ew, like, I can't.
Yeah, but she doesn't worry about that anymore and then kisses him.
I can't. Nope. Not here for it.
Yeah, and after the kiss, of course, that's when Skills walks in and says, "Hi, Lauren." And asks if she missed him. and then Brooke and Julian are together making up, and then Haley's making her mom's soup, and Jamie says, it smells awesome. So Haley says it's, his grandma's chicken dumpling soup, and it's special. It calls for a handsome 7-year-old boy named Jamie to stir the dumpling batter. She tells him the secret is to stir the batter slowly and it's a 2-person job, just like her mom told her. And then Clay is sitting at the dinner table when Quinn tells him she loves him. They kiss, and he tells her he loves her too, and nothing's ever going to change that. So that kind of seems like a foreshadowing about Katie coming in looking like Sara. And that's when Katie is talking to her friend, telling her she's going to get that agent who'll sign her soon because it turns out she's this type. And that's when she reveals her dyed hair, well, like Sara's. Well, she has a memorial page for Sara showing behind her on the computer.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
So the high was definitely the girls being able to have their moment because, yes, there's a lot of people that don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and a lot of people, they just get like a phone call, like your parent has passed or whatever. And so at least they did get, I mean, Lydia was living with them or with Haley. So, I mean, at least she got time with her that other people don't have. And she was alert the whole time, talking to them, giving them advice, where, again, some people don't have that. So
yeah, because my mom was sleeping basically for the last month, so I really didn't have much time with her when she was awake.
Right. So I thought that was nice. I thought that the slideshow was nice, even though, I have issues with it, but I still think it was a nice gesture, like especially like how you would want it to be. And the low, Brooke messing up the set, like her maturity level in this episode. She's been doing so well. Like I've been saying, she was the best for plenty of episodes lately.
Right.
And then she got to go down. Like even though, yes, like Alex is annoying, Julian's annoying, but like, like if you can't be professional, you shouldn't be on the set. And because I mean, what did Paul really do to you? Because it's his money too. And his reputation. And obviously, the whole sex tape thing, even at the end. And Katie. Oh, I can't. No, I don't like her. What about you?
Yeah, the high was like I said, Haley and Taylor and Quinn having that peaceful, quiet moment with their mom at the end, and the worst was Victoria and well, I should say Alexander, because he kind of messed everything up because that made Brooke think that Julian slept with Alex, and then he hurt Victoria, in the process as well. So it just kind of made a mess over this. So yeah, and then rating.
I would rate this a 8. I thought it was good. What about you?
Yeah, like a 9.
It's good.
And then worst and best.
The worst, probably Brooke. I'm gonna go Brooke for not, like, she should have asked more questions before punching. And the best was Quinn, because if it wasn't for Quinn to go track down Taylor, Taylor would never have been able to say goodbye, and then she would have had more guilt for the rest of her life. So she was being a nice sister and a nice daughter, because obviously it also affected her mom, because that's what her mom's last wish basically was too. She did want to see all 3 of her girls, and she was sad when there was only 2. So I think she was also helping her mom too to have all of her girls. So I thought she made the slideshow. So she was thinking of her mom and everyone else. So that was nice.
Right.
So she was definitely, I think, the best. Plus, she's grieving.
Right.
So what about you?
Yeah, the best was Quinn too for Taylor and the projector, the slideshow. And then the worst would be for Cancer for me in general, but also Lauren and Mouth, just because I didn't like how they were. It seemed like they were just moving forward as like trying to be a couple and then not really thinking about skills. Like maybe we should tell them before we even go anywhere. Like, you know, especially with Mouth because he asked Lauren out, you know, so if anything, he probably should you know, tell skills before, because if she said yes and then they'd be in a relationship, and either way they would have got caught, you know, at the last second, like when skills walked in like that. But
Also,
yeah, just keeping a secret.
Also, skills did not, like, they did not end it because he wasn't in love with her. It was because he went to go see if, you know, this job opportunity was something that he was truly interested in. Which is what you have to do sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do have to move and see if that's even what you want. Because otherwise, you'll just sit at home and regret it. Otherwise, or you could move, see if you like it, and guess what? You may not like the job, so guess what? You'll come home. But either way, he didn't move because he wanted to get away from her.
Right.
And which is how she's kind of twisted it, which is, you know, like, we're not together, but, and it's like, so he doesn't matter. I think skills matters. That's why, honestly, if those two want to be together and be rude, you can have each other because he deserves better.
Yeah, it seems like, I think Lauren mentioned before that she hasn't heard from Skills, and it just makes sense that she would drift away from him with this distance. So it kind of just seemed like she kind of gave up on him, you know, but it was never like officially said. She just kind of like, you know, left it as that. Like if they just kind of just eventually stopped talking to each other, that would, you know, mean the end of it, I guess, to her.
Yeah,
But,
and she didn't. And so basically, she moved on. She's cool, but he clearly never moved on.
Yeah, and he probably didn't tell her that he was coming back because he wanted it to be a surprise to her too. So
right, and like the whole thing is too, like, sorry, but like, you know, you're not as meaningful to us as Skills is. So honestly, for me, he's like, I'm definitely on Skills' side because I don't want him hurt, and Lauren is going to hurt him. And sorry, Lauren, you got to go then because we don't like you at this point.
Right.
You're going to just move in on Mouth. No. So that's why I say Skills deserves better, because these two, and the other thing is, they've been spending a lot of time together, right? Neither one of them wanted to mention. I mean, Mouth definitely should. If they were broken up, then Mouth definitely should have said something to Skills. Like, hey, we've been spending time together, just letting you know. Because think about it. If they're, because Millie could have told Skills. Brooke could have told Skills. Like, anyone that found out that they were spending time together could have told Skills. So wouldn't you just rather be the big person and just tell him yourself? Now, instead of him having to come home and see it?
Yeah, it's like Skills in this scenario is Brooke, and Mouth is Payne, and Lauren is Lucas. Kind of with the best friend, and then, you know, the other person that they were with, you know, and then they get together behind their back. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
And then what's the next episode?
Episode 19, Every Picture Tells a Story.
Oh, okay.
So more pictures, I think because of Quinn's gallery.
Oh,
so that's what they did there. Yeah.
I think it's the opening of it. Okay. All right, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for listening.
Yep, I will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.